warnings and calls for the ban, the bitter political fallout from Spain's floods. The region responds to criticism that he was slow to act by attacking the Prime Minister. The sun still hadn't risen on Tuesday. Risen or risen? Let's see how to pronounce this word.
Risen.
Risen. Correct. On Tuesday, 29th of October, when the mayor of Utile, Ricardo Gabaldon, took another look at the warnings from Spain's State Meteorological Office and ordered all the schools in the small Valencian town to close. The warning early that morning at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. was orange, he said. That's when I was up whether to close the schools here. In the end, I ordered them to close at 6 or 7 that morning. Soon after, the alert went red, although the rain brought floods that have so far claimed at least 223 lives in Spain, 6 of them in Utile. Gabaldon knows the death toll could have been far higher in his town had the schools been open. Let's see this one. Toll. I pronounce it as toll.
Toll.
Yeah, it's correct. Children and their parents would have died on flooded roads during the drive-in from surrounding villages, and students could have been drowned in the school corridors. Thank goodness that the children weren't here, he said. Otherwise, we'd be talking about something else entirely. Gonna stop for a minute. Let's continue. Although the rain brought floods that have so far claimed at least 223 lives in Spain, 6 of them in Utile, Gabaldon knows that death toll could have been far higher in his town had the schools been open. Children and their parents would have died on flooded roads during drive-in from surrounding villages, and students could have been drowned in their school's corridors. Thank goodness that children weren't here, he said. Otherwise, we'd be talking about something else entirely. The foresight and initiative Gabaldon showed in the first moments of the worst natural disaster in Spain's modern history were far from ubiquitous. I think I saw this before.
Ubiquitous.
Yeah, ubiquitous. The alerts that are pinged to people's mobile phones in time and meter high. So let's see this word. It's both. So I need to.
Utile.
Utile. What's the meaning of this word? Even as emergency teams search for the 78 people still listed as missing, questions are being asked about the authorities' handling of the crisis, one that has brought out the very worst and the very best. The disaster was declared a level 2 emergency, meaning the regional government run by the Conservative People's Party (PP) has responsibility. Had the Valencian authorities concluded they could no longer handle the situation, the level could have been to allow the socialist-led central government to step in and take over. Let's see this word. I pronounce it as socialist.
Socialist.
Yeah, it's good. While much of the debate has split along political lines, a timeline of Tuesday's Hence reveals winky decisions were and weren't taken. A little before 11 p.m. on Monday, 28th of October, the Spanish Met Office, EMET, issued orange and red weather alerts for parts of Valencia. At 7:36 a.m. the next morning, it updated its alerts in the region, and by 9:41 a.m. the entire province of Valencia was on red alert, with people warned of extreme danger in some areas and urged to keep away from rivers, gullies. Let's see this one. Is it gullies or gullies?
Gullies. Gullies.
Gullies. Gullies and flood-prone lowlands at midday. Emmett realized a video asking people to stay put. What's the meaning of this? As the severity of the floods became apparent, the central government's representative in Valencia cancelled her agenda and called the region's interior minister 3 times between noon and 2 p.m., offering help and resources. About 1 p.m. on Tuesday, Valencia's PP regional president Carlos Mason was recorded on video saying that the rains were moving away and would ease up in Valencia by the early evening. Video of his forecast was later removed from his account on X. According to Spanish media reports, Mason had a long lunch with a journalist until about 6 p.m. He arrived at the emergency command center at about 7:30 p.m., where he was brought up to speed on the state of the floods. The Valencian government, which made control of the emergency, did not request the deployment. Let's see this word. Deployment. Yeah.
Deployment.
Where am I? Deployment of the entire region of the Spanish Armed Forces Military Emergencies Unit, UME, until after 8 p.m. on Tuesday. About the time the civil protection alert was finally issued. On Thursday last week, the region's interior minister told Valencian TV that she only found out about the mobile alert technology after a phone call from central government's environment ministry. Coming back, Mason has responded to criticism by seeking to blame Spain's socialist government and even the EUME, but sources in the administration of Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez are adamant it did. Let's see this word. I think I pronounced it incorrect.
Adamant.
Adamant it did everything it could to warn of the disaster and is doing everything in its power to alleviate its aftermath within the constraints of a highly decentralized state. Although the PP has pointedly thanked the other regions it governs for sending help to Valencia, it has accused Sanchez of acting in bad faith during the crisis. Others have gone further in their condemnation. Let's see this word. Not you, please. Your sister. I mean, this one.
Condemnation.
Condemnation of the Prime Minister. A column in the right-wing APC newspaper this week accused Sanchez and his government of seeking to blame the deaths on climate change and people's inability to heed the weather warnings. Let's see this word.
Heed.
If it's Spaniards, what's this word? Spain days. No,
Spaniards.
Spaniards. If Spaniards today want, so Lily Lifford would be hanging them and quartering them and putting their good.
Carrion.
Carrion. And let's see. Yeah, I think my connection is good. I need this one to see this word. Fate.
Fate.
Yeah, it's correct. Carrion feeders, as should be the fate of tyrants, it added. Tyrants. Do I pronounce it correct?
Tyrants.
Tyrants. Tyrants, it added. Delays in providing and updating the tolls of the dead and the missing have given rise to conspiracy. I think I see it before I know what's the meaning of this word, but I always mispronounce it.
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy theories and fueled disinformation. The human tragedy, meanwhile, has been embraced by a self-declared fascist influencer using TikTok likes to decide which of the affected areas should receive aid for buy his flowers. But despite the politicking, new word, politicking, the recrimination and the outbreaks of looting, the most remarkable feature of the disaster has been the surge of solidarity. Solidarity. Let's see how to pronounce it.
Solidarity.
Solidarity it has elicited. Broom wielding volunteers and tractor owners have arrived in the hardest hit parts of Valencia, offering help, muscle, and comfort. Is it muscle? Do I pronounce it correct?
Muscle.
Yeah, correct. As well as the videos of carts spinning helplessly along torrents of mud-colored water and pictures of sodden piles of furniture. One of the abiding images of the disaster will be of the thousands of broom and bucket-clutching volunteers crossing a bridge in Valencia to reach those in need. When the waters finally recede, let's see this one, recede, I pronounce it as recede.
Recede.
Yeah, correct. Recede, and the lost bodies have been reclaimed from the mud, the actions at least will be beyond reproach. Oh, I finished. It took me 14 minutes to read this article. And have a lovely day, everyone. I need to see something for tomorrow. I suppose seeking the blame Spain's socialist government and even PM. Which one I want to see? I'll decide that for tomorrow. Have a lovely day, everyone.